Cool. All right.
Yeah, we can dump it right here. It'd be perfect.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kraig Lee with Kona Farm Direct, and I wanted to share with you about my nursery operation. I've been growing coffee seedlings here in Kona for over 25 years. I've been using Soil Plus's mix for over 15 years, and it's really helped our business tremendously. So something unique that we have been doing for many years, I learned about it about 25 years ago, and I know Tom Greenwell learned about it as well about the same time, about grafted coffee trees. So we use grafted coffee trees because we've got a problem here in Kona of what we call nematodes, which are microscopic worms that infect the root system of our Arabica coffee trees. So it's a real problem. On older, more established trees, you see them get less and less healthy over the years, and they produce less and less coffee, but the cost to maintain and fertilize is still the same. So yields go down and costs keep going up. So one of the solutions is using grafted trees, and we use Liberican coffee for the root system. It's a much stronger, more aggressively growing tree. Right behind me is a number of Liberican trees. You can see the big leaves. They look kind of like a noni plant, but it's not noni, it's Liberican coffee. They produce lots of coffee, amazingly strong plant. They'll get enormous. They'll get over 50 feet tall if we let them. But I prune them every year to keep them low because 50 feet is too tall to pick. Produces lots of coffee, but honestly, it tastes terrible. It's awful coffee. It doesn't taste that good. But it's a super strong plant, and therefore the root system is stronger, more aggressively growing root system. It's resistant to those nematodes that eat the Arabica or infect the Arabica root system. So what we do is it's a similar species, it's coffee. So we graft the Arabica on top of the Liberican, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so this is our nursery where we start all the seedlings. All of these little plants under the shade cloth are the Liberican coffee. So we grow them up and get them growing in the cells filled with that CTH potting mix. And we get them up a little bit taller like these. And now they're ready for grafting at this stage. So we graft them when they're real tiny, and we'll show you that process next. Hello, Etsy. Hi. So this is the 1/3 mix that we've been using for the last 15 years. We've amended it a little bit by adding more perlite to it and more Osmocote, this time-release fertilizer pellets. And that really helps with the coffee plants. But the pH is spot on with the 1/3 mix. So where's the most recent tray of grafted plants? This is Etsy, by the way. Etsy's been working with me in the nursery here for over 2 years. And this is her domain. I can show this. So these are coffee seedlings. These are the seeds of the Liberican coffee. So we plant them in vermiculite and perlite mix, and then germinate them, get them growing, and then we transplant them into the cells. These are little coffee beans. These are all Liberican coffee. Is this the most recent one?
Yeah.
Let me pull this one out. So these were grafted about 3 weeks ago. And if you can see the little blue clips. So what we did is we grew up the Liberican plants, and we cut the tops off the Liberican, and then we clipped on an Arabica or a Kona coffee plant on top of it. Then we put them in these tubs with a little bit of fungicide and water, so it's a moist environment for them to heal. Because we've just cut their head off and clipped a new head onto them. They need time for that wound to fuse back together. The hormones and so forth, they usually grow back together in about a month to 2 months. So they're in these tubs for about 2 months, healing. Then we'll take them out and place them here under the shade cloth. And you can see they have all the little grafting clips. So these were grafted about 2 months ago. Yeah, exactly 2 months ago. These are geisha on top of the Liberican. So we have quite a demand for geisha now because it's all the rage of the fancy coffees.
What is geisha?
Geisha is another Arabica coffee that's from Gesha, Africa, Ethiopia. And it was made famous about 25 years ago in Panama. It spread all over the world, and it became very, very, very famous about 25 years ago in Panama. They had the best of Panama competition. Somebody entered geisha as well as all the other varietals, and it started winning first place. And it's just set a new world record, I think 3 months ago. In a recent auction, geisha coffee fetched over $30,000 a kilo, which is about $16,000 a pound. And it was a 10 kilo lot that went for that. So it was just amazing. So worldwide, everybody's planting geisha now. Not that everybody's going to get $30,000 a kilo, but it is really a nice, beautiful cup of coffee. It's more tea-like, more floral notes, sweet, fruity notes as well. It's more of a tea-like coffee than that bold cup of coffee that we're used to. It's actually, I'm becoming more and more fond of it every time I drink it. Okay. These are all the grafted trees after they've grown up a ways. You can see the contrast in the bark here. So the darker section is where it was grafted, cut on an angle and fused together with those little clips. This is successfully growing, very strong. Root systems diving down into that 1/3 mix. And you can see the lighter bark on top of the Arabica coffee on top of the Liberican. Nice healthy plants. So we sell about 10,000 to 20,000 trees a year. Hey. So there's some trees that were grafted 2 months ago. So this is another healing chamber that we use for the recently grafted trees. This is our cold storage room where we keep everybody's coffees. Not only my own coffee, but we process for about 20 other farmers. And so this is all the coffee parchment for various farmers and myself. We keep it in a climate-controlled, insulated room. It's very expensive, very valuable coffee, so we want to keep it as nice as possible. Usually we're doing just washed coffee on the deck, but today we're doing what we call naturals. So naturals is where you dry the coffee in the cherry skin. And it's very, very important to dry it quickly. If you dry it too long on the patio or on the hoshidana and it gets cloudy, then you run the risk of mold starting on the coffee, which is really bad. So usually we'll just dry it for 1 day here on the hoshidana and get it to tack up, and then we'll put it in a dehumidifying room to dry it, or one of the dryers to dry it more rapidly, just to ensure that mold doesn't grow. You want that nice, beautiful fruit notes to come through in the coffee, not a moldy, musty flavor. So I'm glad to say that we've never had a batch go moldy on us because we keep on top of it all the time. But naturals, it's definitely more fruity and thicker body to the coffee, the cup of coffee. It's just a unique way of doing it, but a lot more labor and effort to get it dry. As the fruit dries around it, it becomes like, I liken it to a raisin. You know, when you eat raisins and it's still kind of gooey on the inside. So that gooey fruit is infusing the coffee bean with those fruit notes, tropical fruit notes. But then you have to dry it thoroughly enough so you can hull the coffee later and then roast it. So it's a tricky method to do properly, but it's wonderful. Oh, and so these are the Mokka. These are the Mokka cherries. As you can see, they're much smaller than the Kona typica. They're just really tiny cherries, and then tiny beans inside. It's very expensive to have this coffee picked because you have to reach inside the plant, and they're buried inside the leaves and so forth. So it's very tedious to pick and very costly to pick. But it's worth it. It's awesome coffee. Hello.
Howdy.
So see how tiny they are in comparison to regular beans. They're more like the size of oversized peppercorns versus the bigger flat beans that you're used to. Very high percentage of peaberry in these tiny little beans. So they're very unique flavor. It's a very fruity flavor to it. It's more of a tea-like coffee as well. In fact, I'm just going to put all of this into the coffee maker. Yeah, these are called, it's a Jura. Mark has one too. So it's an automated espresso maker. So it's like a Keurig or K-cup machine, but it's real coffee. So you put the beans in, it grinds it, packs it, extracts it, and it's fast, it's convenient. As you'll see, it leaves a crema on the top. So it's just going through its cycle. It'll be done in a second. So it takes less than a minute to make a cup of coffee. So it's grinding the beans, packs it, and it extracts it like an Americano or a long, drawn-out espresso shot. So this is the Kona Mokka. It's a little bit more delicate coffee than your Kona typica, but it's got sweet floral notes, a little bit of chocolatey notes to it as well. So it's piping hot right now, but as it cools, you'll be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, but why don't you try this? Nice.
So we started growing the Kona Mokka about 5 years ago, and in 2022 we entered the Mokka into the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival's cupping competition, and lo and behold, it won first place. So 2022, this Kona Mokka was the grand champion of the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival. Very exciting. It helped bolster our sales not only for the Mokka coffee, but for all of our Kona typica and all of our varietals. So very, very exciting. Love to participate in the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival every year.